Hey guys, I wanted to do another video this week just to kind of take a few moments to talk about running in general as a topic. In the last video I was kind of going over a couple pairs of shoes that I think were worth comparing for 2024 as a retrospective and maybe even into early 2025. But I also think that the purpose of me even starting a channel here is to say that every run has a purpose. And when we talk about shoes that are north of $100, running has now become this expensive hobby. I think it's more expensive than it used to be, and this is something that has really proven to be a limiter for a lot of potential runners. Every person should be able to put on a pair of shoes, whatever kind of shoes they have, and go for a run. When I think about comparing a $170 shoe versus a $200 running shoe, something you're going to go get dirty in the mud, there is a part of me that inside screams out and says, why do we have to be this, I'll say, frivolous with the resources we have just for the purpose of a hobby? And so this video is not meant to lambast running and to shame the hobby itself, because I love this thing that we do. I'm not saying that buying running shoes is some kind of an indictment on your personality because you invest in the shoe that you wear. What I am saying, though, is that if you cannot afford to spend $170 on a pair of shoes, that you are no less than the person next to you who does spend that money. And so I want to just share some insight. When I started running, I did not have $100 to spend on a pair of shoes. In fact, I had about $30 to spend on a pair of shoes. And I was a new father, young in my early 20s, and poor. I did not have money for running shoes. And so I took a pair of casual Puma shoes that I had bought when I was about 20, and at age 24, I'm running in this 4-year pair of shoes that the foam had already degraded on, and I developed knee problems from it. However, I still ran in those shoes, and I still ran to the point of getting a 3-mile, sort of 30-minute, 10-minute, 3-mile run together. And I want to say there's no shame in it. And if you follow this channel, if you see this video, anyone, what I want to say with running is that we're more than the total value of the gear we put on before the run. We're people who have decided to do a thing that is uncomfortable at first and over time brings joy. And this is something that cannot be encapsulated in the price of your shoe. Okay, so every run has a purpose. And throughout these videos that I post, I want there to be moments wherein I ask the viewer, what are you running from? And what are you running toward? So that we can at least get beyond the consumer aspect of this thing and get to the real core of why it is that you put on a pair of shoes and go outside for a run or get on a treadmill, okay? Because there's a lot more to this than buying shoes, and I'd be doing a disservice to myself and anybody who I might spur on toward this hobby if the only commentary I had on it were this shoe, which costs X amount, is better than this other shoe that costs less. And that is why I wanted to encourage those that don't have a an overflow to spend on these expensive shoes, to put on whatever you've got and go for a run, walk, jog, stroll. Anything that will eventually bring you joy is worth the effort. I've heard some YouTube personalities in the running space say, well, if you're only going to run 3 miles, then what did you even get dressed up for? And I would say, you know, 3 runs can be life-changing for anyone. Me personally, I was 210 pounds overweight. I'm not a tall person. I'm 5'7", maybe 5'8", and at 211 pounds, a 3-mile run 3 times a week was life-changing. I lost 60 pounds doing that. And so whatever I had to put on, it could have been a pair of Converse. Just getting out the door and moving was life-changing. It really was. And so I want to pose the question to people in the comment section, for whoever might see this video, to answer me, what do you run from and what are you running toward? Some of us may be running away from boredom or depression, anxiety, mediocrity. If running is something that you want to achieve some level of success in, then that's great. And some of us are running toward goals that we set, however small or great those goals may be. If you are even an inch closer to that goal at the end of a run, no matter how far the distance, there was a purpose in that run. And purposeful running is for everyone. Everyone is worthy of this hobby should they choose to engage in it. And this used to be a thing that was very, very low barrier to entry, and it's not anymore. After COVID, this became a much more niche, expensive sport when the super trainers and the high stack shoes came out with more foam, and so higher price tags and carbon plates. You know, this is not, again, an indictment on that. I love those kinds of shoes just like anyone else. But can we not lose sight of the person who's got the $30 to spend today and is going either to a thrift store or a garage sale, or even just trying to find the lowest tier price point at Ross to find a pair of shoes that they can wear? This is the runner that I want to reach, as well as the person that has the $170 to $200 for a pair of shoes. And so, you know, I was watching this video, it's a movie rather, called McFarland USA. It's a Disney movie. I think if you've got Disney Plus, it's out there, you can stream it. But it's about a group of Hispanic runners from California. These are teenage boys in high school that really don't have a lot of prospects for college, and began running because of a coach who fell out of the football program and found that these kids had potential in the running space to just do a lot of things in track and field, and cross-country running, essentially. And there are scenes in that movie where the question of what kind of shoes can these kids really afford is posed to the protagonist, the audience. And I think that this is something that really spoke to me, because when I had $30 to spend on a pair of shoes, I went for these Asics that were just an unknown model. They're probably something that they got sold more in China than in the US, and it was what I had available, and they were butt ugly. But the knee problems that I had by putting on that cheap pair of $30 shoes slowly went away, and I recognized that even in my cheap little crappy trainers, I was able to get the benefit of running in my life, if that makes sense. Okay, so this is what I'm getting at, guys. Running is not meant to be a rich man's sport. Okay, this isn't golf. This isn't some kind of leisurely activity. Some people run because it is generally the only enjoyment that they get outside of things that probably aren't beneficial to us. So, look, I'm just saying this to say that every run has a purpose. And I want to know what the purpose is of your run. I want to hear from anybody that might be watching this. And I don't care about the aspect of this expensive 2025 shoe is better than this other lesser shoe, or which is also probably expensive as well. I mean, let's be honest, if we have the money to pay for a pair of shoes it's only meant for one purpose, then we're probably doing better than most of the general public. But if that is the case, I think that we can do a lot more than focus on the gear of what running requires. Okay, so if you've got a pair of beat up Converse and you're interested in running, strap them on, go outside, walk, feel the sensation of running, sprint in them. There are people that run in flip-flops, barefoot, and this is not a sport that requires you to be rich, okay? So, maybe this is a little overwrought of a concept for a video, but I think it's important, and this is something that I'm probably going to thread within the content that I post as much as I can. Running is for everyone. Every run, everyone. Please, guys, don't misunderstand me. Subsequent videos are going to go into content that almost lapses into the consumerist sort of space of running, where I'm going to post videos of gloves or outerwear that ranges in price, and I don't want that to muddy the waters of what this sport can provide. So, like the kids in that movie who had a purpose for their run, I have a purpose for mine. You have a purpose in yours. Please find that purpose, remember it, and hold on to that, because even if all you've got is a dirty pair of trainers where the foam is all blown out, that's special, and it's worth keeping, and it's worth using. Never let the equipment that you can afford be a barrier to your enjoyment of this hobby. In any case, I appreciate your time. Thank you so much if you've listened to what I'm saying here. And please give me your thoughts in the comment section. I'm curious to know what others think about this. I would like for this hobby to be one that is available to everyone, and that everyone feels a purpose in what they're doing with this. So please, let me know your thoughts. Thanks. Take care. I'll see you soon.